We'll meet someone who has a used card lot. We'll also reflect on an earlier time. This and more on today's News 6. Welcome to News 6 and to 1983. We hope that all of you had a good holiday season. Today's program is presented by the Leipsic 6th grade classes. We'd like to start this new year with a sneak preview of what one man will be doing this spring. Diana?
Fresh tomatoes probably remind us of summer. We drive along fields of full-grown plants. We see the labor involved in harvesting the finished product. But what is involved in the beginning of these plants? Mr. Bob Newell plays a big part in the germination of tomato plants. To germinate means to begin, to grow, or to cause to sprout. Dry seeds are placed on a tray covered with dampened cheesecloth. Then a substance like Knox gelatin is used to coat the seeds. If the coating is done right, no two seeds will touch each other. The tray is placed in a hot box for 3 to 5 days. When the seeds have germinated, they stay in a misting system until the plants are large enough to plant in the fields. Mr. Newell told us that it takes about 1 pound of seeds to plant 3/4 of an acre of land. He also told us that 80% to 90% of the seeds will germinate in this process. Andrea?
Our teachers, our parents, and our friends may talk a lot about goals. Some of us will set reachable goals for ourselves. Others will reach higher. Mr. Jeff Brown is a junior high English teacher in Leipsic. His goal is to run on the United States Olympic team in 1984. Mr. Brown feels that his hard work and good attitude will help him reach this goal. David Robinson talked with Mr. Brown about his training.
Mr. Brown, why did you decide to train for the Olympics?
Okay, first of all, I should make it clear that I'm not actually training for the Olympics per se. Right now I'm doing training and working towards the Olympic trials. The Olympic trials is a goal I've had. It's a personal satisfaction goal. And a person doesn't actually train for the Olympics. He trains towards the Olympics and hopefully hits that goal. So right now what we are looking towards is the Olympic trials and possibly qualifying for Olympic trials.
What are the time trials?
Olympic time trials are simply a time trial. What they are is to qualify for the Olympics. And to get into the time trials, what you have to do is run a basic time standard. There are time standards set for each event. And through any meet throughout the year, if you qualify through these time standards and run this time standard, then you are eligible to go to the Olympic trials. And the Olympic committee pays your way there, and they send you to Olympic trials, which will be held probably in Eugene, Oregon. And at these time trials, then, you go through trials and run against other Americans, and the top 3 out of each event qualify for the Olympics then. And they go on and run the Olympic Games.
How much do you run every day?
Right now I'm hitting anywhere from 15 to 18 miles a day, 2 runs per day.
Are there other exercises?
We do plenty of stretching exercises in the morning, and then we go out for our miles.
Thanks, Mr. Brown. This is David Robinson reporting for News 6.
Leipsic School and News 6 would like to wish Mr. Brown our best in accomplishing his goal. Brian?
Pick a card, any card. Matt Logan has about 25,000 cards to choose from. He started collecting football and baseball cards 4 years ago when a friend gave some to him. Matt has every baseball player's card from the last 3 years. He also has every football player's card from the last 4 years. Some of the cards were purchased from a retailer. Matt stores all the cards at home in a big trunk and anywhere else that he can find room. Right now, Matt doesn't participate in any exhibits. He simply trades with his neighbor and his brother. He does hope to get a trading card business when he gets older. What about all that gum? Matt said that he does not chew it. He stacks it up and saves it for a younger cousin. Dennis?
If you wrote a book with a chapter for every year of your life, how many would there be? Well, Mrs. Lena Pickens' book would be longer than mine. She has lived in times that most of us can only read about. In earlier days, she traveled by horse and buggy. Mrs. Pickens said she had lived an honest and healthy life. She is thankful for her good fortune. News 6 and Tanya Engard spent some time with Mrs. Pickens while she reflected on her past.
Mrs. Pickens, how do you feel about being 102 years old?
Oh, I don't mind it. I'm here and I'm living and plenty to eat and a place to stay and friends. So I don't know what for anybody would want.
Did you ever live in a log cabin?
Yes. My dad used plaster and things to shut the holes between the logs. They was logs. And then later on he put the boards outside. And a lot of people had log houses.
What was school like when you were a little girl?
We had a great big room full of youngsters. There wasn't any youngsters, there was old ones too. The older people went, that is, not the married people, but the boys and girls. It was my brothers and sisters went when they was great big and old. Oh, they wasn't old, but then they was up in their teens.
What do you think about the world today?
Well, it don't worry me because I don't have too long to stay here, but it's for the other people that I feel sorry for, the ones that's going to be left.
Thank you, Mrs. Pickens. This is Tanya Engard reporting from News 6.
Mrs. Pickens will celebrate her 103rd birthday on January 8th. Happy birthday from all of us here at News 6. Back to you, Julie.
Is his jaw wired shut? No. If you think it is, you must have missed the little guy on his knee. Brad Dressback is a 5th grade student who has been practicing ventriloquism for about a year. His partner is Oscar. Brad has taught himself this art. He makes up his own acts. His parents always see a new act before he goes on stage. They are his critics. Oscar likes to tell silly jokes, especially about Brad.
Hi, Oscar. How you doing today? Okay. Been doing anything? No, not much. Rad, you saved my life. Nah, it was nothing. First, let's see if you can talk. Say your ABCs. A, D, C, G, H, I, K, S, T, D, S, K, and Z. Well, that's pretty good. Well, I know you can talk. Let's see if you can sing. Sing, Yankee Doodle Dandy. Yankee Doodle went to town riding on a pony. Stuck a feather in his hand and called it macaroni. Well, at least you can talk. Well, let's really see if you're yourself, and how about tell one of those jokes you always tell. If they're real corny, I know it's you. Okay. Why didn't the skeleton cross the road? Why didn't the skeleton cross the road? This has got to be a dumb one. He didn't have enough guts. Oh my gosh, that was one of your jokes. I think we'd better say goodbye. Say goodbye, Oscar. Goodbye, Oscar. No, say goodbye to the audience. Goodbye to the audience.
Thanks for being with us today. We hope that you enjoyed the show. Be sure and tune in again next week when News 6 will be presented by Washington School in Tiffin, Ohio. Have a great week.